Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the Mouse tank. This is a Tier 9 Blitz Nation medium. I'm honestly surprised that this is a Tier 9. When I first saw it, I was like, well, it kind of looks like it could be a Tier 9, but usually when Wargaming releases Blitz Nation style vehicles, they aren't super high up in tier. I mean, we do have the Centurion Glacier knockoff, and we also obviously have the Argonaut, which is really stupid, but I don't know. It's just normally Wargaming releases these fantasy tanks down in tier 8. But this is going to be a tier 9 medium, and honestly, I think it looks pretty cool. I really like the overall sleek design of it, and in today's video, I am going to be letting you know everything you're going to want to about this vehicle. We're going to start off with the armor profile, and it actually does have pretty good armor. This is up against 233 mils of pen, but we're going to put on Cali, so actually 250 mils of pen. As we can see on flat ground, the upper plate of this vehicle, because of the angle it's at, will actually auto-ricochet basically any shell. And let's see the thickness of that upper plate. It's 82 millimeters, meaning that even a higher caliber gun, like an E4, will not pen this vehicle's upper plate. You can see that auto-ricochet right here. So for anybody that doesn't understand, against AP and APCR, any angle that is more than 72 degrees will automatically ricochet shells, no matter what. You can see when I load heat, it will cut through. But if it was premium APCR, it would not. And that is because of the fact that it just won't be able to. A great example is the Hori. This is 410 mils of premium pen with the Hori, cannot cut through the upper plate. That means that this is going to be a really, really troll tank on flat ground, because that upper plate's going to go from a pen to a non-pen very quickly. Definitely something that's going to be, well, a little scary, going to be honest. The lower plate of this tank, however, is quite weak and only 107 effective, so while the upper plate is really troll, the lower plate is not going to be very good. I do want to see, though, how much armor that upper plate has against heat. It's about 259, so if you're using the gun depression the vehicle has, then you're more at like 336. Honestly, that's pretty good, to be entirely honest. Like, the armor on this tank's hull is not bad. Now, let's take a look at the turret armor. It's got about 270 millimeters effective. That's also pretty good. I mean, this is a tier 10 tank destroyer. If we were to get a more comparable, argument here, let's get like an Air Concept 1. I mean, that's what 250 mils of pen sees when aiming at the turret. And using gun depression, that turret armor goes a little bit higher to about 278-ish. Now, to be fair, gold, it's going to cut right through these cheeks. So it's not like the vehicle has ridiculous levels of armor, but it's pretty good overall on the armor department. Does have two massive hatches, though. However, those hatches actually don't exist. As we can see, from the way they're designed, it looks like those are weak spots, but nope, they actually don't exist at all. So those are not hatches. There, in fact, is no weak spot on the roof of the vehicle. There are some, like, goofy spots you can try and shoot it through the mantlet and stuff like that, but it's not going to be worth it. Realistically, you load gold and you shoot it through the turret cheeks. This is quite a heavily armored medium when you consider everything that we've just shown. Side armor, not very good, which is actually fine with me. I don't want this thing to be a side-scraping beast. So here's the interesting as well. The gun that this vehicle features is an autoloader, and it's got 160 damage per shot. It's, the lowest damage per shot, tier 9 in the game. But it has a 3-shell autoloader and a 0.23 second intraclip. Yes, you heard that right. That means basically in about half a second, you dump the full clip, which does 480 damage. I actually think this is kind of cool. I've always wanted Wargaming to try and release kind of like a pea shooter up in tier 9 and 10. I think it'd be really cool if we could get like an E25 at tier 10 that has like 4,500 DPM, but it only has like 160 damage per shot. It just has like a 2-second reload and just goes bam, 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 bam. I think that would be really fun if it was balanced properly, and this is the closest we're going to get. So here's the interesting part, right? Not only is it an autoloader, but it has a boatload of consumables. It has super speed boost. It has reactive armor, reticle calibration, and even tungsten rounds. Tungsten will give your clipping potential going from 480 to 552. Tungsten on autoloaders is obviously going to be really dangerous. And you should also notice that it's got a super quick clip reload at only 10.86 seconds. So this tank essentially has an 11-second reload for 480 damage because it shoots so fast. But let's take a look at what else it has. 2,500 DPM. Pretty average, honestly, but it is an autoloader, so I'm glad it's a little bit on the lower side. Also, sorry about that noise. I was trying to clear my throat. Let's see what else we got going for it here. Interestingly enough, it's a 110 millimeter gun. That makes no sense whatsoever because it has the same damage per shot as a 70 millimeter to a 75 mil, but yet it's 110 millimeter, which is weird because vehicles like the M48 Patton are a 105. I don't understand how Wargaming can justify it being that level of caliber when it's 160 DPS, but I don't know what to say. Let's take a look at what else we have going here. Well, accuracy is going to be a super important value, and ooh, not very good. It's actually the second worst in Tier 9 at 0.328, and its on move is not very good. In fact, really none of the dispersion values are good. And that might suck, because this is a tank that's going to really need good on-movement dispersion to get the shells out. But it does have a quick aiming time, so if the aiming time's really fast, and the on move is really bad, then essentially you're going to be moving, large, zoop. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. The after shot is really good, though. It's the best in Tier 9, which is good. It means that at least you will be able to shoot your shells bam, 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 and not have to worry about the gun blooming, because that would suck if it did. Okay, well, the vehicle has 7 degrees of gun depression, which is alright. It's nothing incredible, but it's plenty to get the job done. Has a top speed of 50, reverses at 21, with an effective power-to-weight ratio of, ooh, not great, 17.8, making it one of the slowest mediums. In fact, wow, it is the slowest medium. It's medium terrain resistances, which is basically most drivable terrain. Hard terrain is roads. So if you're on a map like Himmelsdorf and you're driving on concrete, that's what your terrain resistance is, or your power to weight. But any map like Desert Sands, where it's all desert, any map where you're driving on dirt and not a road, you're looking at 14. Just to point out to you how bad 14 is, if we make our way to Tankopedia really quickly here, and we take a look at, like, I don't know, a YAG. The YAG Panzer 100 7.6, well, that's a little bit slower than I want. How about, like, a YAG Tiger? The YAG Tiger's effective power to weight is about 12. So, this tank's power to weight is going to be only maybe 10% worse than a medium tank's. Yeah, that's not great. That's not great, if I'm going to be entirely honest. So, it's got some good things. It's got some bad things. Actually, there's a lot of camo values, which is really interesting. But the tank looks fun. I don't even care if it's a pile of trash. The armor looks good, and it has a lot of damage output. It has tungsten. It has all of these special consumables. It's got gun depression. It seems to be a really fun tank. The last thing I do want to check is the pen. So with calibrated shells, we are looking at about 250 mils of AP and 330 with heat. So it's actually got quite nice pen. Wow, the HE's really nice. It does 630 damage at a clip with 210 damage per shot. That's an 85 increase. That's actually pretty insane, which makes it the highest damage output in mediums. So it's an interesting vehicle. I think that in the current state, the only problem is the mobility. I don't understand how Wargaming gave it this level of terrain resistances on medium. Like, that's actually tragic. This tank is not fast enough. If Wargaming wants to make it this slow, make it a heavy. But right now it's a medium, and it's a really freaking slow medium. So we'll have to see how it actually ends up playing. But, well, that's the stats for now. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.